She was a African woman that Europeans went, they got her over there. I believe she was a part of the tribe, like the Khoisan tribe, that one of the oldest tribes, a tribe that kind of look Asian out there in Africa. But anyway, she had a figure, a very voluptuous figure. And the Europeans in Europe took her back to Europe and they put her on display. They would parade her around, have her in shows, like freak shows and circuses and stuff like that. And they would prod her, and they would, look at her, and she had that type of I wouldn't say fame, because it was quite cruel, but she had that notoriety from these Europeans, and they had her out there like that. And when she died, they mummified her and kept her remains. And I believe it was some years later, where not too long ago, probably in the early 2000s, I think. Can double check that. Somebody can check that for me. But I think her country got her remains back. And I got this video, I got this picture. It's graphic, but this is her. They had her somewhere down in some down closet. They had mummified her, and I think her country was able to get her remains back. Okay. And this is the beginning of, I'm not going to say this is the beginning, but as far as what we know in America as the sexual objectifying of Black women, I would say this is the beginning of it. Now, let's just be honest. Let's just be real. I'll just be real. When it comes to women, a woman from the beginning of time has always been attracted to men, attractive to a man. Women have always been that way. Okay. Now, when you get with the Europeans and you start looking at the Europeans, what's different about them is that they started to sexualize the body and objectify the body, and change the clothing. Now, when you look at these countries from the old world, which as the ancient world, these countries, women were always looked at as beautiful and delicate, right? And covered up. You can't find clothing like you can find today in America, or even the European style of dress that is more sexy for a woman. You can't find that type of clothing in these ancient cultures. You just can't find it. But we do know there was always a part of that city or town that was a place where you could fancy yourself with, prostitutes and women that were, half naked and all of that in a certain corner of the city. That has been going on since the beginning of time. Now I'm talking about the objectifying of the body, and then over time, when you get to our day, what you see is it's like it's nothing now. Like the clothing is nothing now. In the 1940s, right? In the 1940s, it was a guy that came out with the bikini. And you go further back, you go about to the early 1900s, women would wear like a skirt thing where they were covered up just to get in the water at the beach. When 1940s, they came out with the bikini, where a woman was even more cladly naked, where you just got a piece of fling, a piece of a string on the top and the bottom. And for a while, American society did not accept it. They didn't accept it. But eventually, like everything that is promoted and, that, the mainstream is pushing, people will start to do it and say, it's okay. It's perfectly okay. Now you go to the beach and you can see a woman basically butt naked, you know, but that's where our society is. And with the clothing is designed by Europeans. It's not only them, it's designed by people of the alternative lifestyles. Those are the designers a lot of times that's designing these clothes where it's less and less, and it's supposed to be fashionable, but the objectifying of our women's bodies started back then. Now they would prod Sarah Baartman and have her up there showing her behind and her tail and saying, ooh, look. Now today, you don't have to do that because our sisters do it to themselves. They don't have to Sarah Baartman our sisters because our sisters are Sarah Baartmaning themselves. They are doing it to themselves. They taking the picture sideways, showing their tail. They sticking their tail out. They twerking with their tail out. But that's where it started. This is where it started at. Our women's bodies being objectified. This is where it started at. It didn't start with us. That whole y'all got to go look at the history of the sexual revolution. You got to look at the history of the sexual revolution and to see why things are so sexualized. So now you have people that will get at you as a man if you say, why does that little girl have that on? That's not appropriate. Oh, why are you sexualizing her? You're the one that's the creep. You're sexualizing her. No, I know what's decent and what's right. But society has lost its way. And social media then fried people's damn minds to where anything goes and anything is supposed to be okay. And then they'll say, you know what? Well, if you don't like it, then don't look at it or don't say anything. Why are you concerned with people that if they're not, you know, your family or friends or whatnot? Why aren't you concerned with your people? Why is it that you don't care if your people are destroying themselves? That's my question to y'all. Because this is the thing. If you don't care, it will come back and nip you in the butt at one time or another. It's going to affect you or someone you don't love, someone you love. It's like if you don't care about people, the neighborhood drug dealer selling drugs to all the younger kids, eventually it's going to touch you. Eventually, one of those kids are going to be strung out a year later and he's going to come knock you upside your head and take your purse. So it's not, I know we feel like we're individuals, but we're not. We're not. We're not individuals. Everything affects us. You can say it's not you, it's not in your household, but eventually it will affect your household. So you should care about your people. You should have a say-so for what's right and what's wrong. It used to be a time where the community, you couldn't go through a community acting a fool because everybody knew your parents and they would say, hey, you better stop. Your mom and your father ain't nowhere around, but Mr. So-and-so is around and they see you and get you in line real quick. Now, getting to the how, you know, our sisters do over sexualize themselves, but also you got to understand all this too. A lot of our sisters wouldn't do these things if brothers, black men, didn't love these things and like them and partake and participate in it. If you want to see a change, just what I just said, if you want to see a change as a black man, you're tired of seeing that because I'm tired of it. You got to stop loving the 304s. You got to stop paying money going into strip clubs. You got to stop buying prostitutes. You got to stop. You got to stop praising Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallions and the Cardi B's of the world. You got to stop doing that. You got to stop looking at those half-naked women on Instagram. Stop liking those pictures. I mean, you can't. I know you can't help looking at it because it's going to pop up on your feed. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, stop liking it. Stop messaging. A lot of y'all be in those messages. Hey, queen. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, I want to marry you. She's half naked, bro. What do you think her mind is? You think that's marriage material? She's half naked. What are you in there? Why are you in the comments like that? And it be so many of y'all. And I be feeling sad for you. I'm like, man, brothers is really lost too. but they don't understand they have the power and the influence and the leader, supposed to have that leadership quality where you could start turning that down. You can start saying, nah, that's not what a woman is. I want a woman where I can get to know her, what's inside of her head, before I ever even know what every crack and crevice look like on her body. But a lot of y'all don't, y'all grew up in this social media age, man, where it got people's brains fried and we're living without no morals. But getting back to this point, I want to bring out Sara Baartman so you can see how that objectifying element started with our people. And Sara Baartman was a Hamite. She wasn't actually a Negro. She wasn't one of us. But you've seen how the Europeans objectified that body and sexualized it. And you see that still today. You've seen it throughout their culture. And now we're just living programmed within their mainframe. We're an application running on their program. And we have to unprogram ourselves and see the light and see that this is not it. This is not life as far as how our sisters should be and how they objectify themselves. And also as Black men, we objectify them too. But if we can make a change, we can start seeing how all the energy that is given to that will make our sisters aspire to be something that is classy, that is beautiful, that is modest, that is all of those other qualities that don't objectify her body. A sister is more than her body. A Black woman needs to know that you're more than your body. I know it's very hard for sisters to even take a damn picture on social media without turning to the side and showing their tail, without wearing something half naked, without, I know that, but I just want to say that Black women, sisters, you are more than your body.